The end of the year is coming soon. Will we be able to get those last two holes filled in this Jefferson nickel box here? The only way we're going to do it is if we start looking through there. Let's go. Hi, it's Silver Chupacabra, and we are here for one of the last nickel box hunts of the year. I don't think we're going to be able to get another win. We'll have to see how it goes, but we're about to look through there and see what delights are in there. Batman says we want to fill the last two holes of this collection book. Came pretty close, but I don't think we'll be able to do it this year, but who knows? You never know. The big kahuna of nickels is still empty, as well as that 38S key date. But what we have been doing as we've been going along, we've been filling this in, our book in here, with nice upgraders, by the way. In fact, some of these are probably, I would actually say some of these are actually much better, in much better shape than some of my own home or store-bought ones, I should say. I already have this collection store-bought wise, but this one is definitely challenging, and actually I almost find this a little more rewarding. We would like some Buffalo nickels to pop up would be nice. V-nickel would be nice. We had a couple this year. Varieties. We haven't really even seen a whole lot of varieties whatsoever when it comes to nickels. There's not a whole lot to look for either. Love to find that 2005 Spirit Bison. I still think that's a myth, but anyway, you never know. I say we go ahead and look what's inside. I've already opened it, as you can see. Nice glue. At least they only glued this part of it. We'll get into that, take a look at if there's anything cool on the top, and we'll get to searching. Okay, Batman is just peeking to see what's up here. We won't have to. We'll be able to see from the top. So, as you can see, definitely, seeing a lot of new ones, and you're going to kind of see that on here. Now, new, I don't know if it's new, like 2024, but it'd be kind of cool if it did. There's some in here, I think, that have some potential. Like I said, look at all these ones that look new. Got the Bison out. Man, 2 in a row. It'd be kind of cool if we had a whole row of that stuff sitting out here. Ooh, this one definitely looks like it's got something going on, old-wise. We'll just have to see. Interesting. I mean, dirty one there, but that's, it's got that really awful portrait of Jefferson. That's my opinion, of course. I just don't like the portrait itself. Anyway, well, we'll have to see. I mean, of course, the only way we're going to get to check things out is by looking at this first roll. I don't think it's old, but it got some elderly to it, maybe 70s, 80s. It's a little bit newer, I would say, even though it's pretty roughed up, too. As we usually say, it's what's inside that really counts anyway, and let's check out that inside. Okay, so we are still actually on that first roll, and near the start. Spread them out, at least the ones that were at the very start. Spread them out a bit. Already got a nice old one, 1947. Already one in the 40s. See, that's pretty darn well worn. A little bit of detail in there. Mint mark or not? I'm thinking not, but hey, you never know. That is a no. 47 Philadelphia. Let's go ahead and take a look at the R to see if we have a notch from Mr. Henning, the counterfeiter, however you want to put a businessman. I don't see anything there, but we'll check it for weight later. Anyway, good start. First roll. Got one, about 80 years old? 77? Yep. Let's go. Still on the first roll, and we've got our second find. And it's going to be even older. I saw this actually in the roll itself when it was spread out, kind of showing this part. And I thought it had potential too. But there's not a whole lot to look at, so I didn't pull it earlier. But anyway, 1940. Fairly common no matter what the mint mark is. Blank, D or S. This one was worn. In fact, the rim is starting to intrude on the lettering on that side. Ooh, what's... Somebody tried to drill a hole there in the middle. Nice. Expecting Philly, but I wouldn't be shocked that there's an S there. Definitely not the best looking S minted coin I've ever seen. But anyway, like I said, good start. 2 finds already. First roll. Okay, roll 2. And Batman reminded me that this is the roll. Well, it was one of the rolls I kind of pointed out with the enders. And here it is right here. So we don't know if this is even a find yet, but it actually does have a mint mark, which is AD. We did not see that earlier. Looks a little bit more crusty than I've seen the 64s, but that doesn't mean it can't be a 64. We'll find out. What's the next digit? It is a 60, and it is a 4. Never fails. Never fails. Well, it does fail, actually, but anyway. Look at all that, the rest of that area there that we got to check. Onward. On to roll 5 of this new nickel box hunt. Start of the roll itself. You can see the rest of it's still in there. All right, kind of screwed that up. Ooh, 1953. 53. I would say pretty worn. Little detail. Philadelphia actually has a pretty low mintage when it comes to the lower 1950s. And it is a Philadelphia. And by the way, we should look for Henning. This was the last year of the Henning counterfeit nickel. I do not see anything going on there. Onward we go. And 9 rolls in. We're going to have our 4th find of that first row of 10 rolls. There's that 1957. All those late 50s are pretty commons, and around these parts, there's usually a big D there too. And there it is. Not in the best of shape either, by the way, but anyway, we'll still have the whole row to go through. Okay, 16 rolls into this box hunt. We got our 5th find. Dried out a little bit. Hey, and by the way, finally got the nickel coin hunt mat out. I didn't even notice the penny one was still out there. I do that from time to time. It took me 16 rolls to do it this time. It's very interesting. Do have a find in the roll that was laid out. Looks like we've got a 1948 little tone. It's like we usually see with these late 40s, that kind of orangish hue to it. 48 does have a semi-key date, and it would be San Francisco minted. This one has quite a bit of wear to it. My thinking is, especially seeing Monticello, this will not be San Francisco, but it wouldn't be the first time I was wrong. It's got a mint marker, right? But it will be Denver instead. Cool. So that is the first 1948 we've had. And we got a little bit more to look at for this row. So done with the second row of 10 rolls. Means we're on roll 20. And let's continue to be a bit dry here. But we do have another 1946 popping up. I believe that was our first nickel of this hunt. And here it is again. Pretty worn up. Lots of scratches. Thinking that's probably going to be another Philly. I don't know. You can see the windows per se, but I mean, it's definitely worn. Could be a D. No, it will be once again. Philly. I'm going to move it over here with a little bit more light. See if I see a notch or not. I do not believe it looks like schmooze to me. We'll check it once again. We'll weigh it later on down the line. Anyway, cool. Halfway through the box. And we've got, I believe, our seventh find. It has been very dry so far. Very interesting, though. You have a 1942 popping up. For those of you who do not know, 42 was a year where they had two types of nickels, a type 1 and a type 2. The type 1 was basically had the same materials, I would say, as the older nickels, and then later on that year they started substituting nickel for some silver. I do not believe this to be a silver coin, though. This looks straight out type 1. If it is silver nickel, it has a large mint mark on top, which it is not. And it is not a Denver as well. They only made Philadelphia and Denver, so this would be Philadelphia. Cool. I love finding these 42s. I don't find them as often as, I don't know. I don't find them that often. Let's go with that. Nice. Roll 27, and we have an ender. Fine, 1956. Just see the back here because this was the one that was showing. Yeah, I mean it's got its wear. It's been out there a little bit. And there it is, Denver. Oh, 8-5. Still on roll 27, and another older or later date 50s comes up, 1958, which will also probably have a D for Denver on the back, which it does. Now, I mean, it is the 59 to complete the older 50s. Onward to go. Roll 33 of this nickel box hunt. Midway through, we got ourselves the last of the 50s, 1959. So now we've got all the common later dates. Nice one. It's got a little hair on the bottom of the rim. That's always nice. Probably is a D for Denver. Yep, there it is. I think it's been whacked a couple of times, that's for sure. Onward we go. On to roll 36 of this nickel box hunt. A hunt that has been very, very dry. Although I would say if you had 12 finds, but they've all been commons. So nothing of real interest, or I don't know if you want to use the word value here, but notice that I've got this roll still in the roll itself. I like to check out these things first. This one right here interests me. I've already looked at it, so obviously I know that there's something there. I just know that there is a particular thing there. When I see something this rounded and this, whatever you want to call it, just the color, that there's got to be something going on here. Let's take a peek. Oh, do you see it? Oh man, we haven't had a buffalo nickel in quite a while, folks. Let's go ahead and pull that out. She's got a toning, dirt, whatever you want to call it. Very, very nice. Oh man, it's been, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen a buffalo nickel. A lot of wear on this one too, but not enough to. I mean, the rim's wearing kind of into United, but not totally. But there's enough rim there that it's in decent shape. No mint mark, Philadelphia. Let's go ahead and actually turn her over and see what we've got for a date. If we have a date out here, because this looks like it's actually a little bit more one. As you can see up here, rim is wearing into Liberty. Let's go ahead and see. Do we have a date? Oh, we do not. And we'll check it on the microscope, but something tells me we're going to have to do a little bit of nickodating. And that's all right. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, so here is the buffalo nickel. The microscope did nada. And I nickodated it. And I'm going to give special kudos to Rob of RFT, Rob Finds Treasures, for showing a new way of nickodating these things. So instead of actually, past, all I did was just nickadate the area where the date was. Instead, just nickadated the whole front. And it looks, at least it doesn't look like, a coin with a big old spot on the left. The whole thing's been nickadated, so it all looks the same. Actually, pretty good shape. 1916, Philadelphia, folks. That is very, very cool. And I don't know if this has a 2 feathers variety, but I can see that it has 3 feathers. Anybody interested? You would have to be missing that back feather here that's snuck in between the feather here and his neck. As you can see, 1, 2 feathers there. But if that was missing, ooh, variety. Even though I nickodated it. It'd be worth nothing, by the way. Very cool. 1916. I don't know if the box collection Buffalo Nickels has a 1916, but we'll find out later. Onward. Hey, looks like we are on roll 42. And we've got our 14th find of this box. 1940. One earlier. I think it was a Philadelphia. This is the oldest Jefferson we have found so far. Did have that Buffalo Nickel earlier from 1916, which is pretty darn cool. Let's see. Most of these are commons. Oh, another Philly. Very cool. We still have a bit to look at. Veja Du Hawkhead. If you've never seen Hudson Hawk, that's a line from there. It's another 1940. And it's in the same roll, too, which is somewhat more interesting. Do we have a mint mark? I would say probably not on that either. Nope. 1940 it is. Still a little bit to look at. Could we find another 1940? We're on roll 46. Look at that, 4 rolls left. And I laid out this roll. Didn't really see anything too, uh, I don't know, just sitting out there saying, hey, it's me. I'm a find. And this popped up. Well, I mean, I didn't see it by the rim. Let's just say that. Taylor, it's got a P on the back. You know what that means. Silver or nickel. That is got the oddest tone of all time. Now, with my luck, of course, this could be a 1943. I just thought I'd say that out loud. A 42, 44, or 45 would be preferable, or a 43 with a 3/2 variety. That would be cool. Da, 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 1940. Shoot. It is what it is, folks. I love silver nickels. And you should have been able to tell this was a 43p because I didn't put it in a short because I'm refusing to do that now. Too funny. Well, still there's quite a bit left there. On we go. Roll 47 of this nickel box hunt, and we've got our 17th find of the box. 1953. This box is at least kept up a little bit quantity-wise. A little bit of quality in there, too, with a buffalo nickel and a silver war nickel. 53 looks like it's seen lots of things. Pretty scratched up. I wasn't thinking it was going to have a mint mark, but I'll tell you what, it does. It's an S. No, there's no key or semi-key dates for this, but San Francisco, getting a San Francisco coin is always nice. Boy, this thing is one of the most worked over San Francisco nickels I've seen. So, onward we go. So, that is the end of this nickel box and this nickel box hunt. Let's go ahead and take a look at our finds for this hunt. We got, these are the oldest Jeffersons that were found, 1940s, and they're all Philadelphia. A lot of Phillies in this setup, by the way. 1942, don't see these too often, but they're fairly common, so it's not like it's even a semi-key date, but Philly as well. 1947, 2 field days on that. I have checked the weights, no go on the weights. Sorry, didn't even preface that with just talking about Henning and his counterfeit nickels. We already kind of knew it anyway. So the weights are not good. The weights are like any other nickel, and there was no notch in the first place on the R and the D on the reverse. So, hey. 1948, Denver. We've got a couple of 53s, one from Philly, one from San Francisco. 56 Denver, 57 Denver, a couple 58s, and 59 Denvers as well. Here are the Big Kahuna finds for this box. We found a very worn, I would say, although the reverse I think is a little bit better shape. 1916. You can see the date there clearly. Yes, we had to nicodate it. And by the way, kudos to Rob who finds treasures for showing that nicodate that he did on one of the nickels by just applying it to the whole face of the nickel. At least it looks natural, more natural now. And by the way, yeah, that just destroys any price, if you want to call it, for these nickels. Whatever was already blank, and it's 1916, fairly common, I believe, Philly-wise at least. And then, of course, hey, look, Oh, it's another 43, but it's great. It's a silverware nickel, but it's another 43p. I find these fairly often and many times. I do love the blue U on the bottom here. Yeah. And by the way, I have looked for the DDO on here and the 3/2. Nope, not happening in those. But I do want to look on the rest of them to see if there are any varieties there. I will come back, and if we need to look at the collection books, we will. Okay, so back from looking at the coins for varieties, there were none. It was a quick look. And there really are no updates or anything. There were no upgrades, but just since this is, and this definitely, what's the 30th, we're not going to get to another nickel hunt until the other side of January 1st, so we'll be in the new year. So this is the last nickel box hunt of this year. It's been a very good year checking through nickels. We have got basically everything in the Jefferson collection book, except for basically close, except for the 39D, close to the two rarest of the Jeffersons. We need that 38S and 50D, and we'll start promptly on it after the new year. So we've got quite a few filled there. That's very cool. Took us a bit. In fact, I think the last 3 months we've had a lot of good fills in there. And I thought I'd show the Buffalo nickel. The 1916, by the way, I did use in here, but there was already one there too. And that one was actually in worse condition. So I'm using this one. After I nickedated the whole obverse. Yeah, I know it looks kind of weird and whatnot, but at least the whole obverse looks weird and not just one single spot. It's a great find, by the way. 16D, and I believe I found it this year. Only 13 mil made. 63, not bad. They didn't really make tons of Buffalo nickels. You can see the mintage numbers on a lot of these up here. Not a lot. That one a lot. I think, didn't we find not a 17 but like a 19? Yes. I think that was our last nickel find. Yeah, a lot of those made too. Anyway, they're getting filled more and more. Very cool stuff. That's about it for this one. As I said, last nickel hunt of the year. Very cool year. Can't wait to get to the next one. I believe we can get a penny hunt in the next day and a half. And that's what we're going to work on. So we'll have one more penny hunt. And then start them back over in the new year. Later on, folks. Cheers to everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye.